Hello and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial we're gonna do this stitch. This stitch has only 2 rows repeat. This is the front of the work and this is the back. With this sample I used the 4.0mm crochet hook. You can do let's say with a thinner yarn if you like. This one. So this is the front and this is the back. This one I worked with 2.5mm crochet hook. The yarn is quite thin. Okay, with this stitch what we're gonna do, we're gonna start with the base, which is, well, very easy, but well, this stitch is gonna eat some yarn. Like always, if you have yarn to get rid of, you can work with this this stitch and do something. So we're gonna start by doing a knot. You're gonna do the knot the way you like. Okay. So now we're gonna chain 2, 1 and 2. We're gonna pull up a loop, yarn over the hook, and we're gonna go back to the first chain that we did in there, and we're gonna start picking up loops. So you're gonna pick up once, yarn over the hook, go for the second time, third, and the fourth time. If you like the puffs to be bigger, then you can go 5, 6 times. It doesn't matter, it's up to you. If you don't like 4 times, then depends on the yarn size, you're gonna go maybe 3 times. So yarn over and pull the yarn through all these loops, close this puff, then chain 1. Again we're gonna pull up a loop and we're gonna go through this line right on top of the puff. It's right here. So you're gonna start picking up loops. So once, you go for the second, third and the fourth time. Pull the yarn through all the loops, close that puff, chain 1. Again, pull up a loop and you're gonna repeat. You're gonna pull the yarn through all those loops, close that puff, chain 1, and again. So if you want to make a blanket, then you're gonna make this as wide as you like the blanket to be. It's up to you. So I'm gonna maybe do more, but be aware when you pull this loop in the beginning, if it's too big, the loop, then it's gonna show, because this loop, it's right here on the bottom here. So if it's too big, then it's gonna show. Boy, this yarn is not quite nice. So you go once, the second, third and the fourth time. I'm gonna make maybe one more. This stitch has only 2 rows repeat. It's gonna be easy, and especially if the yarn is thick, then this is gonna build up really fast. So now let's say you do whatever you choose to do. You do a blanket, then you're gonna chain this long until you think that it's wide enough, the blanket. Yeah. So after you close that and you think it's long enough, whatever project you choose to do, then we're gonna chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Yeah. And now the spaces, you see these lines here, this line between the puffs, we're gonna work through that. So yarn over the hook, we're gonna go the first space here, and we're gonna do like a V-stitch, but we extended double crochet. So yarn over the hook, you're gonna go the first space here, gonna pull up a loop, then grab the yarn and pull the yarn to the first loop, yarn over and pull the yarn to the next 2 loops and the next 2. Yeah. Then you're gonna chain 1, and in the same space we're gonna do the same, extended double crochet. So you're gonna pull the yarn through the first loop, the next 2, the next 2. So we have the V-stitch there. Yeah. So again, you're gonna move to the next space, you're gonna skip the next puff, and into the next space we're gonna do the same. So we're gonna do an extended double crochet, chain 1, and we're gonna go back into the same space and do the second double, the extended double crochet. So that is the V. If you like, you can do with a double crochet only, and if you don't like the extended double crochet, you can do with a triple. But then if you do that, this V is the space when we do the next row. It's gonna be like lacy, a lacy stitch. It's gonna look like that. If you do with a double, it's gonna be a little bit dense, the stitch, so it's up to you. So you move to the next space and you do like this. If you like the V, instead of only one chain in between the double crochets or the extended double crochet, you can put 2 chains if you like. Yeah. So now at the end here, we're gonna go into this space right here. Yeah. And we're gonna do another V stitch. So I'm working with the extended double crochet. You can do double crochet, you can do a treble, whatever you feel comfortable. So it's gonna look like this. So this row with the V stitch is gonna be one of the rows that you're gonna repeat. So this is one. The base is just here in the beginning. No, we're not gonna repeat that. So now you're gonna chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn your work, and now in this here we're gonna do a puff. So you're gonna go into this first V space here, and we're gonna start picking up loops. So once, twice, 3, and 4. Like I said, if you like bigger or smaller the puff, it's up to you. So pull the yarn through all those loops, chain 1, close that. So now this is how we're gonna do it. You go to the next V into that 1 chain space. We're gonna do first a single crochet, yeah, then yarn over the hook, and we're gonna, in the same space here where we did that single crochet, we're gonna do a puff. So once, twice, 3, 4. Pull the yarn through all the loops, close that puff. You move to the next V stitch into that 1 chain space. We're gonna do first a single crochet, then we're gonna start with a puff into the same space. So once, second, third, and 4th, close that puff, and you move to the next V. You do first a single crochet, yarn over the hook, and in the same space we're gonna do a puff. You can do the puffs as high as you like, the loops when you pull, doesn't matter, it's up to you. So you move to the next V stitch, and you're gonna do the same. 1 single crochet first, and a puff. So once, twice, third, and 4th. Pull the yarn, chain 1. So now we have here the last V of the row, and we're gonna do the same. You go into that 1 chain space and do a single crochet first, and then followed by a puff. Okay, you're gonna close that puff, and you have this chain here at the end, in which we're gonna do 2 single crochets only. So you're gonna do 1, and you go back for the second single crochet. So you're gonna finish, if you can remember the row with the puffs, you're gonna finish at the end into that chain with 2 single crochets. So now again, I'm gonna chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn your work. It's gonna look like this. So now you have the single crochet here, the first and the second. Into the second, we're gonna do an extended double crochet. So you're gonna skip this one, and you're gonna go into this one. So we're gonna do an extended double crochet. Okay, and now you're gonna skip this puff, and you have here the single crochet from the previous row. When we started to do the puffs, we did a single crochet first, and then we did a puff. So the stitch is right between the puffs, right here, yeah, the single crochet. So what we're gonna do, yarn over the hook, we're gonna repeat this row with the V stitch. So you're gonna go into that single crochet from the previous row, and you're gonna do an extended double crochet, chain 1, and you're gonna go back to do the second extended double crochet. It's gonna be like a V. Again, you're gonna skip this puff, and the single crochet is right here. It's this one. And you're gonna do the V stitch, chain 1, and you go back again for the second extended double crochet. So you skip the puff and you go into the single crochet. Like I said, if you like to do a double crochet, do double crochet. Then you're gonna chain 1 and you go back again for the second extended double crochet. It's gonna look like this. And again, you're gonna skip the puff and you go into the single crochet. And these are the rows that you're gonna repeat on and on and on. Okay. So now we have here the puff. We're gonna skip the puff and we have the single crochet, and we're gonna do the V stitch, chain 1, and you go back again for the second extended double crochet. So now here at the end we have the puff. You're gonna skip the puff, and you have this chain here in which we're gonna do a V stitch. Yeah? So into that chain space we're gonna do the V stitch, chain 1, and you go back again for the second extended. It's gonna look like this. So now you're gonna chain 4, and you're gonna have to repeat the row with the puffs. So you have here the first V stitch in which we're gonna go directly and start pulling up loops. We're not gonna do the single crochet, so you're gonna pull up loops. Okay, once, twice, third, and the fourth time. Pull the yarn through all the loops, close that puff, and then you're gonna move to the next V stitch, and you start with a single crochet. So in this single crochet, the next row, you're gonna do the V stitches, yeah, in this single crochet. So yarn over the hook, you're gonna go back into that one chain space, and you're gonna do a puff. Sorry about the noise, it's very, very windy, my place. You're gonna pull the yarn through all those, close that puff, and you're gonna move to the next V stitch. And first you're gonna do a single crochet, yarn over the hook, and in the same V stitch you're gonna do a puff. Close that puff, move to the next V stitch, and you move to the next, and so on. It's a very easy stitch. You can alternate colors, if you like. But I think to alternate colors, I think you should do 2 rows each, like you do the V stitch and the puff, and then you change the colors. So you move to the next V stitch, which is the last one. You do a single crochet, and you do a puff. So like I said, this row, close that puff. This row, when you have the puff, in this space, the chain 4 that we have here, right here, we're gonna do 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, chain 4, and you're gonna repeat the row now with the V. So like I said, you're gonna go into, you don't go into the first, you go into the second. So yarn over the hook, and you're gonna do an extended double crochet. And then you're gonna skip this puff, and you're gonna move to the single crochet from the previous row into that stitch and do the same, a V-stitch, chain 1 and so on. Well, with this stitch it's gonna eat some yarn. So again, skip the puff and into that single crochet from the previous row. I'm gonna do the V-stitch. Like I said, if you like, you know, to do maybe 2 chains in between this extended, I chain only 1 here. If you want to, you can chain 2. If you think it's too small, the space here. Yeah. But I wanted the stitch to be a little bit dense, not so open work, if I do a blanket, for example. But with the 2, it's gonna be a little bit large, the space here. Yeah. The V-stitch is gonna be a little bit bigger. So we have here the last single crochet of the row. Yeah. And at the end here, you have the chain, so you're gonna do the same. The V-stitch. Chain 1, and you go back again for the last extended. So now you're gonna chain 4 and you're gonna repeat, and now you're gonna do the row with the puffs. Yeah? So in this first V, you're gonna do a puff without doing the single crochet first. Then when you move to the next V stitch, you're gonna do a single crochet first and then the puff, and so on. And at the end here you have the chain. You're gonna do 2 single crochets in this chain space. Yeah? So this is the stitch. It's very easy, goes really fast, but like I said, it's gonna eat a lot of yarn, this one. So this is the front and this is the back, and you'll notice that the work has a tendency to go a little bit like this, but that's okay. For example, if you do a blanket, you're gonna put some borders, yeah, or border if you like, but this, you're not gonna have this when you finish the blanket here on top. Yeah, it's gonna be only the row with the puffs when you're gonna finish, if you do a blanket. Well, it's not gonna look pretty if you finish the work with the V-stitch, that's for sure. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and you like the stitch. Give it a try. You might enjoy doing something with this. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.